Why hello fellow librarians, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Going Medieval, Tower of Knowledge. Episode 31, Seeking a Higher Level of Learning. At the start of the stream, I'm actually going to pick my own priorities. What I want to do is upgrade the library and ready the base for siege. So let me describe what that is for you. So Red Mist right now is a librarian tier 1, and in order to become a librarian tier 2, I would need a planetarium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to research planetarium and then work on getting the components required for it, which is a little bit of an undertaking. So we'll do 20, 15, and 10 for the books. So 20, 15, and 10 for the books. And I'll update that. You know, in the priorities, it's already reflected. And then the other part of that planetarium, which I haven't been working on, which is a problem, and it's going to be annoying, is that in order to make mechanical components, we need a smithing of 20. And Day Sleeper is sitting at smithing 11. That's a problem, if you can tell. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have him make birdshades over and over to grind smithing skill until he hits smithing 20, which allows him to then make mechanical components. I should have been working on this like the whole time. I wasn't. That's my fault. The other thing we're going to want is the ability to make wooden components, which, interestingly, I've had the woodwork bench for like a long time. I just never built one. So here's a woodwork bench for us to then make the wooden components, because we're going to need the metal components for the planetarium, but we're also going to need the wooden components once we start to do the second part of that priority, which is siege. I would really like to implement ballista as a means of self-defense, and then possibly trebuchet as a means of counter siege. Last stream we did get an enemy siege and we broke it with our bowmen, but our bowmen are not very capable, and as a result, it did threaten us a fair bit. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to finally pull the trigger on, is I am going to cut down all of my fruit trees and then like figure out a reasonable arboretum or orchard or wherever. But I'm tired of having like these piecemeal trees everywhere. Like, honestly, it's too much to click through and manage. So I'm just going to cut them all down. One of the reasons to do is we need wood for the next project. So that actually works in my advantage. So we'll go out here and also cut down any mature trees that are out here or dead trees that are out here. Oops. Because we are low on wood. There we go. So them's the plans. The planetarium that we're researching is required for him to become librarian too. And if you're wondering what that will allow us to do, it will allow us to hold larger study sessions to build up our intellectual renown, which is ultimately kind of the goal of this series. Hence the pivoting of the priorities. All right. So Day Sleeper is going to be working a lot on like smithing stuff for training. And one of the things we can actually help is we don't have a cooldown timer on our study group right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the required textbook as this one, which is a smithing textbook. And then to make sure that Day Sleeper is at least one of the people coming to... I should figure out who the next best smith is, which is like almost nobody. Maybe Viking or Raveno? So I'll have Raveno do it. So Day Sleeper and Raveno in a study session in order to become better smiths. And this is probably going to be the fastest way for me to level them up. There we go. Smithing book. And let's kick this off. As much as I would like them go through shooting sessions to level up their shooting, I really need the smithing now. Now, another thing I wanted to do, and this actually works with the whole, like, cutting down a whole lot of trees, is let's go ahead and get some storage for armor and weapons. So I'm going to put weapon storage 1, 2, 3, 4, and then armor storage 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will have the weapons and armor that pass muster. Basically, the good plus weapons that are 51 plus and the good plus armor that is 51 plus, so that I'm storing it separately. I'm storing it in essentially my Great Hall, adding value potentially to my Great Hall so that it is a nicer room. And then also I'll just like know where the stuff is, which is useful. Oh, Madzi, by the way, thank you for the resub, and Nabe, thank you for the gifted sub. So now that we're cutting down the fruit trees, I'm going to delete the old zones that we had here, and I'll work out like a better situation for zoning in the future. So them's the plans. Come on, steady session. Day Sleeper is like not even on the same floor as the, well, I guess neither of them are. So for reference, right now he is a smithing almost 12. I know my head's a little in the way. Almost 12. And I'm hoping that he goes up to like 14 or so from the study session. That would be ideal. Do I have saplings for the trees I'm chopping? Yes, and also cutting them down gives us saplings. The act of cutting down a tree is a sapling thing. So, he leveled up to 13. From 11, it's 13 and a third. Not bad. And we're trying to get to 20. 20 is the big one, because we had queued up to get a longsword, but we obviously need a smithing of 20 for longswords. We need a smithing of 20 for the mechanical components. Basically, a smithing of 20 is like a crafting of 8 in RimWorld. A lot of the important stuff is locked behind it, and without it, you're kind of out of luck, politely. So it'll be a bit of a grind, for sure, for sure. But we'll try to accelerate the grind the best we can by having them just do a whole lot of metal smithing. Now, another thing that we could do is to put this, one of the side projects I was considering is to put the blacksmith forge in a workshop. Right now, I'm going to work on upgrading the library, but the workshop is very much a potential next goal thereafter, so that we can actually smith reasonably well. But I'm going to be adding another layer to the library, going up a floor. Because we are also just about out of room for books. And there we go. Another library floor. And with that new library floor built, I'm also going to need to queue up some dig jobs over here. And we might as well do that now before winter sets in, because as soon as winter sets in, I'm not going to be easily able to find the clay visually, because it becomes buried. I did read up a little bit on known bugs, and one of the, like, refusing to mine underground bugs is like a pathing bug. It is a bug. It is not a priority issue with the jobs priority system, which is essentially 1 is done first, 5 is done last. It is that, like, Klein doesn't think that he can actually path down here and not get stuck, which is why when I have mining underground, like, the people don't do it. It's a known bug. That's a lot of clay, yeah, and I'm sure we'll use pretty much all of it. Especially if I'm also going to make a workshop. But a new floor is not a cheap endeavor, for sure. So the work speed outside, I forget whether I think they're rewarded for completion. Unlike RimWorld, where it rewards you for effort and not completion, which means that workshop probably needs to be moved inside for Day Sleeper to reasonably level up. So I think what I'm going to do as a stopgap measure is do just that. So the smelt items for metal, I'm going to put on the other bench, the armorer's table. And then I'm going to repeat the build down here with this inside, allowing him to actually grind that experience more reasonably. And I'm just going to make these weapons. The reason I pick these weapons is they cost 20 metal, 10 fuel, whereas the short swords cost 15 metal, or 15 and 10. The short swords cost 15 and 15. So they're just cheaper. I mean, I could make shackles, but that's also 15-15, and it would be weird for, like, an enlightened society to have a bunch of shackles. It also reminds me, staring at that these are probably done. So let's go ahead and set these weapon racks up correctly. Weapons, weapons that are below 51% are a little weird, like, they're kind of fine, but all the same, I'm going to have the weapon racks have the, come on, copy and paste. There we go. It, like, invisibly took. Okay, so they're going to have the same requirements that everything else does, and then same with the armor racks. The armor racks are going to be 51 plus, because we smelt anything lower, and then good plus. This is going to be an effective way for us to sort out the clothing that is worth wearing versus the clothing that is not. Putting on these armor racks and weapon racks. Alright, we have all the books we need for planetarium. Good. And then the other thing I should do is, as soon as the study group is over, I'll probably do another study group of smithing. So in 9 days, 15 hours, which is going to be around 2/3 into winter, we should do another study group following up to allow for Day Sleeper to level up even more. I was kind of hoping, so if you're wondering about the double passion and single passion, the double passions, they gain ×4 experience. The single passions, they gain ×2.5. I was really hoping up until this point that we'd have someone else that has like a double passion of smithing, but it really didn't happen. Which is why I hadn't really been grinding Day Sleeper's skills. I mean, I could have this whole time, but I just chose not to. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do wooden mechanical components until we have 20 of them. Alright, for the marksman training, Ciceron is sitting at marksman 7. And this one doesn't even have anyone. So this one, I'll do pierogi training. So we're also training marksmen, not through study groups, but through actual practice. And we're trying to get everyone up to at least 10 so they can use the much improved bows, the long bows. I had 59, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. All right, that's all the dirt I can add for now. So the advantage of the upgraded library is it will allow us to build our Intellectual Renown, which is ultimately the goal of the series. And then the advantage of working on the smithing skill is to be able to defend ourselves. Because I'm a little worried that there's going to be a siege where the siegers are better equipped for combat than we are. And I'm not going to be able to just, like, shoot and kite and run like I did the last siege. So I'm trying to get ahead of that requirement, because that last siege that we had could have ended much more poorly than it did. Are fruit saplings stored safe? I believe they are. I believe they're on the shelves down here, yeah. Yep. They're allowed in our... I mean, this place is totally full, though, with that in mind. To the point where I think we have too much booze. I'm going to pause fermentation for a bit. Also, I did a little research about ciders. I don't think there's a way to make cider anymore. It used to be, but not any longer. As far as I can tell, they, like, broke apple cider, or ciders, from production. Yep, just did. Once we fill in the soil up here, we can also reasonably expand our root cellar. So maybe putting the soil in here is going to be a higher priority so that the root cellar can grow a bit. I'll have to make a mental note of that because I was filling in over here, but there's a better spot. You can still buy cider. You know, you can think of cider as like the Going Medieval's Naturamine, where in vanilla RimWorld you can't make Naturamine, but you sure can buy it in basically as much quantity as you ever want, as long as you're looking out for it. So, by that same token, it seems like Going Medieval's has something similar going on with its cider. Day Sleeper, what are you doing? Where are you even? You are producing... Oh, you know what? I need to... So jobs for Day Sleeper. You are not going to be a steward or a crafter anymore. Steward to 3, or yeah, I'll even have 5. And crafting to 5. One of the issues is I want the bricks... or the kilns to be worked, but not in lieu of leveling up even more important skills. If I did want this room, and maybe just as a way to like level them up quicker, if I wanted this room to be a workshop, it's actually really easy to do because all we need to do is put 2 wall shelves for tools on, and I think that would speed them up even more. So I'm just gonna throw that down. And, maybe just like a cheap wall wood torch. Not one of the nice ones. Hostile animals. We have got aggressive wolves. They're pretty far physically from our colony. They're really in the opposite corner. So I'm just gonna ignore it. Oh, Cicerone's up to 8. And now this is technically a workshop, so there's a production speed bonus of 132%. So that hopefully Day Sleeper can grind that experience quickly. Because that's really our bottleneck to a lot of the progress at this point. Additionally, it is the bottleneck to the progress for defenses too, right? If we wanted a drawbridge, that is mechanical components. If we wanted a portcullis, again, mechanical components. If we wanted siege equipment, oh, you guessed it, mechanical components. So it's something that I should have been working on the whole time, but now that I've noticed, that's more or less why I pivoted, and I'm like, yep, it's gonna take precedent. Okay, this is one of the wild aggressives, and it's not that far from the clay pit. I don't want to necessarily halt the clay pit, like unqueue the clay pit. What I will do is temporarily I will deprioritize it so that they haul instead, because I don't want them hanging out where there's an aggressive wolf. Oh, it really is coming in. Or Drake, you're going to be up against a wolf in a minute. I'm going to draft you instead. No, maybe just go home. Here. You haul that clay. Do not engage. They'll go away on their own sooner or later, so yeah. Are all the workshops better inside? I mean, technically, yes. It is better to work inside. The kilns don't really matter. They're fine being outdoors. But like the Boyer table and the woodwork bench could be inside. The problem is I only have so much inside space. Honestly, right now it's like completely full of linen. It's ridiculous. To the point where I should probably just like not sew flax for a long time because we have so much linen. It's disgusting. But yeah, I don't want to turn this into a workshop. It really is a stock room. It's just a way for Day Sleeper to grind his experience a little bit more reasonably quick. Father Prax, that is a super weird place to sleep. Sleeping in like an open pit mine. Father Prax is like, mind your own business. Leave me alone. Alright, the animals are leaving. Now that the animals are leaving, let's go to the overlay tab, or the overview tab, and look for carcasses. And there's a lot of carcasses I just realized that are just like under the water. I was looking at the overview tab, I was like, I don't remember there being like a lot of dead animals. But yep, nope, there we are. There absolutely are. So I'm gonna set the human, or the non-humans to haul urgently. And, you know, if we haul them and butcher them, that's fine. I'm not gonna like micromanage or go out of my way, but we'll allow it. We still have a lot of clay left over here, so I don't think I'm gonna reprioritize the mining until the clay bill is, until we're lower on clay. Because it's, right now, seems to be a hauling issue, not a mining issue. We have 20 clay in the base, we have like 660 clay out there. So they just need to haul it in, that's fine. It is winter. 132 days from start. Oh, we are hauling the corpses. It's actually one of the benefits of living in the corner around water is hostile animals are obviously not going to zone into the map where I live, meaning that hostile animals are not likely to be close to us at all, meaning that hostile animals are probably just going to like kill animals that we can then eat ourselves. So I really only see it as a benefit most of the time. Because unlike RimWorld, where they will actively seek out colonists, the hostile animals here just like roam angrily. And you can quote me on that. Roaming angrily. Yes, that's what they do. Which, like, makes it pretty easy to avoid them if you live in the corner of nowhere. Alright, research available is not the one I'm after. So again, we're after planetarium. Because we want to upgrade the planetarium, and we need 10 more textbooks for that. Or handbooks, rather, for that. And then... oh, cold snap. Shoot. The other thing I'm going to need for that is to melt down some more coin. So I'm going to melt a little bit more, which we have more than 300 coin, but I shouldn't have gotten rid of the ingots that I had. So we have 482 coin, 300 of it will become ingots for the planetarium. And that will be another thing that Day Sleeper will have to do. Another thing I might need to do, speaking of this cold snap, is... I probably should have the braziers that are on the defensive walls be functionally different than the braziers inside, so I can double click and select one or the other. So this clay brazier, I'm going to copy and put it in the library. There. This brazier I'm going to break down. And then that brazier, I'm also going to copy another copy of it and see if I can't warm up the sleeping quarters. Because they don't have windows, I'm not really sure how effective this will be, but I'll try. Because we have a cold snap, and I'm curious how much I can influence the ambient temperature of the bedrooms down there without windows between them. Time will tell. Really? You're only carrying 10 wood? You're just trying to piss me off, aren't you? So with this cold snap as it is, I think it's also probably time to harvest whatever there is left in the fields. And then cut the remainder, and then plan different fields for next year. Ideally, planning around fruit trees and planning around being able to have a steady supply of seeds as well, because we've not been doing a good job of that, and I could be doing a better job. Alright, what is your smithing up to 14? Yeah, it's slow, but it's going. Ciceron's 1 point away and being a decent marksman. That's good. The bedrooms are pretty static in terms of temperature. They have a lot of insulation value. I'm just curious if I can get them warmer, because at the moment they're like 45 Fahrenheit, which is cold. Not pleasant for them to sleep in, whereas the shared barracks is like 59 or 60, which is like a totally appropriate sleeping temperature in Fahrenheit. And sorry, I know it's Fahrenheit, not Celsius. In fact, I don't really even care what units it uses. I'll use Kelvin. Like, why is there even Kelvin? Who would play a medieval game in like, when was Lord Kelvin even a thing? Lord Kelvin, you were born in 1824. There wasn't even a Kelvin at this period. Literally unplayable. Whereas Fahrenheit was... Actually, Fahrenheit predated Celsius. I don't know if you knew that. I knew that. Was born in 1686. And Celsius... come on. Because Anders Celsius was... born in 1701. True, they were late medieval. Early Renaissance? I don't really even know human period. Don't ask me, I don't know. Alright, so now we're in a Celsius scale. So the barracks here is like 18 Celsius. It is negative 13 Celsius out. And these bedrooms here are like 7 Celsius, which are just like not comfortable. So that's why I was hoping to make them warmer if possible. Where are my builders? Why aren't they constructing? Glitch is... Oh, he is constructing. Touché, said the blind man peeing in the wind. Intensity high. So now they're like 11 Celsius. At least the one closest to the 13, 12. They're warming up a little bit. They're not great, but they are definitely warming. Settler unconscious. Yeah, it's cold. And you are not wearing warm gear. And Glitch is annoyed. When isn't that true? Wait, what? Come, get to your... You're gonna freeze to death there. Get to your bed. Now I'm annoyed. Move! That's not where you sleep. Okay. Or Drake. Yeah, okay. You are doing it. Good. Carry Glitch to his bed. Thank you. Glitch, I think you have the warmest... one of the warmest bedrooms in the basement. 10? 10 Celsius? That's not terrible. You're still suffering from cold, but it's gonna go away. Yeah. You just need some coffee? I get you. Speaking of which, cheers. Alright, we're 5 handbooks away from the planetarium. Day sleeper. You're almost up to 15 smithing. That's not bad. That's it's faster than I thought it would be. And then, of course, we are a week away from the event. So sometime winter 9 or 10, we'll be able to do another smithing, hopefully to allow us to start making mechanical components. It looks like hauling wood is a bit of a problem. I don't think we have a lot of wood within the colony walls. So it's not that we don't have a lot of wood cut, because I think we do. Yeah, I have over 1,000 wood over here, 1,400 wood or so. It's a matter of hauling. Intensity high. All right, most of the rooms around here are like decently warm enough to not kill the occupants. I know that's like a low bar to meet. And then Raveno is putting a new brazier in the library to keep it warmer. It also appears to me, if I'm not mistaken, that we have unstored theses, indicating that we did need that extra layer of library. So we're not done with the library yet. We're still putting up the ceiling, but it's like at a perfect time because we just ran out of shelf space for books. Hey, Lord Orion. He is trained. Overview, domestic. Lord Orion, you are in vermin control. Go hunt wabbits. Alright, how warm is the... Okay, the library is just above freezing here, even with the one brazier. I think what I'll do is, maybe on a floor above? Is there a good place for a brazier here? Like, super no. I really didn't design it to accommodate a brazier, like, anywhere on that floor. I'll just put another brazier next to the one that already exists. And, like, work out a better solution in the future once we have a new floor. There we go! Planetarium! Now, I don't have the mechanical components. I wouldn't necessarily be against getting the mechanical components. The next thing I'm going to do is go back to defensive structures, as you wanted me to get. So 20, 10, 5. So we got the 20, we got the 10, and we got the 5. Yep, just a little bit of fire in the library, you know. Nothing like passing down the torch, so to speak. Trying to pull ourselves at Alexandria or something. I don't know. Quantum is particularly susceptible to the cold because he's got like armor, not warm clothing. But in his bedroom, it's like 10 degrees Celsius. He's fine. All right. We did... I guess all I had to do was wait. We have... God, you guys are just... This cold snap is absolutely decimating you guys. Okay, Red Mist is carrying you. We do have 800 wood now, so it was just a matter of, like, waiting. So it's all good now. Cold snap finally ended. Good, because that was a real pain. I'm deleting the old fields, as I said I would. The intention, of course, is to, I might even delete the skeps, too. And move them? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Well, I don't need to delete them. I can just relocate them. But they're dormant anyway, so it's not like they're doing anything right now. Alright. Task. So there's the planetarium, which we'll put into the newest floor once the newest floor is ready. And maybe I'll put it... there. We don't yet have the materials. I have the gold ingots. I thought I did. Didn't I smelt my coins down? Oh, where are my coins? Yeah, we definitely smelted the gold coins down, so I don't know where the gold went if they didn't go into the planetarium, because I wasn't making anything else with gold. Oh god, did we make a... I hope I didn't make a golden polearm here. I think I might have, because I failed to tell them not to, which is oof. Well, that just means we need... Oh, yep, look at that thing. Gold, damn it! Fine. Now melt it down. Alright, how much gold did I get? 3 from that? At least I knew what happened to it very quickly as soon as I saw it missing. It was just like, yep, that's what it was. Freaking golden weaponry. Shouldn't it? I mean, whatever. I'll live. I'm just pissed. Because I don't have the coin now. I need to go on a trade run. Probably not to be done in the winter, because, like, I don't want to freeze my butt off. But, well, whatever. Alright, let's go ahead and cut the remaining plants. Stunted or not, don't really care. And then we'll be able to lay out smarter fields. Hey, Bigger. I want a merchant. Hey, Bigger, can you bring a merchant back here? Goldfinger will be proud of me? Yeah, I suppose. Alright, Day Sleeper is now a 16 Smith. Nice. And you're also going to be our Bigger Talker. Wherever the Bigger is, I don't even know. Where is he? Mordred. Go talk to Mordred. Alright, Ciceron, you are done training skill, at least for now. So, Ciceron's going to be taken off of the marksman training, and we'll put Cool Whip on it. And then Ciceron, you get a longbow. Nope. A longbow. Yeah, there it is. Give the Bigger something. Alright, Bigger. I have a lot of hay. So, how much of it can you carry? You can carry 150 of it? There you go. Take my trash. Oh, you told me about a hidden stash. Is there a little note that says, go F yourself? Or, hey, back to you. Or something? I don't know. This is the wrong brazier, but I don't even need one in there. Alright, with both of these burning high... Yeah, the library is, like, warm now. Almost comfortable room temperature. Almost, not quite, almost. I'm going to relocate the skeps along the wall. It's going to be easier to roof them up. They might have a little bit less access to crops, given that they're in the wall, but the amount of beeswax and honey that I have is, like, absurd, so I don't really even care if I have a reduced amount, because the amount we have right now is, like, stupid high. So reduced from stupid high is still good. You know what? I can't even tell, where the overlapping circle... Okay, here we go. So I can put you here. And then... put you here. Yeah, cold snap is over. It's only winter, exactly. Ain't no problem. Just typical cold now. Not mighty cold. Okay, roofing up the skips. Telling them to make honey. Not that they're going to do that in the winter. Day Sleeper, your smithing is now 16. Ah, it's really moving. I'm happy with that. I'm going to reduce their required work hours by an hour. I guess I could have copied and pasted, but whatever. Cool Whip, happy birthday. And hopefully that will have them be like less exhausted than they've been up until now. We'll see. Cheers, by the way. And you can always see the season on the top right. It's day 4 of winter, 4 of 12 into winter. Thank you for tuning in to Going Medieval Tower of Knowledge, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Going Medieval players.